Hi everybody, it's Geordie from Geordie Colours. How you doing? I hope you're all doing well. It's been a while since my last video. I think it's been over a week. I've just started a new job, so life is going well, but it's very busy as always. It's always busy. But yeah, I just kind of thought that I would pop in. I've got a little bit of time now. It's Sunday afternoon, late Sunday afternoon. It's a very miserable day. It's rainy. It's not like freezing cold, but it's not particularly warm. And I spent the day out and about at sporting events with kids. And yeah, so it's the first chance that I've had to kind of sit down, relax, take a minute for myself before I have to jump up and start making dinner and doing ironing and getting school stuff ready and all that sort of fun stuff that you have to do on a Sunday afternoon. So I thought, well, I might as well sit down with you, and I thought about kind of starting a new little program on the channel and try and do it weekly if all goes well, and I'm going to call it Sunday Snippets, because I think I will have an hour or so on a Sunday where I can just sit down and take, as I say, a little bit of time for myself. And so I thought, well, I might as well share it with you. So Sunday Snippets. So I'm going to show you a couple of things that I've been working on. I'm going to show you a couple of other things that I'm trying to get done, and maybe do some colouring together. Won't be much. We'll see what we get done. But the first things first. So I think a couple of videos ago I was talking about my plans for this month, and I said I really wanted to do a page in Seasons by Hannah Carlson, which was this where's she gone, the witchy page. I've lost her. There she is. So I did finish her and get her done, and yeah, I'm not loving it, but I do kind of like it. I decided just to do a black Posca background, and then I thought, well, I can't have a black cat, so I did a white cat instead. So I've gone a little bit crazy with my colours, and then I did green skin on her as well, just for something a little bit different. But I used, my Black Widow pencils for this one, and I did really enjoy it. It took me a long time. I was kind of flitting between this and another page that I worked on as well, which I'm going to show you now. But I also managed to spill, I have no idea what this is. There's some marks on my page. I don't know what they are. Only tiny. I should be able to cover them up, but I don't know what I spilt on them. But I had my book sitting on the floor, which is probably a mistake. So yeah, that annoyed me a little bit. But that one is done, and like I say, I had a lot of fun with that. So that is my Witch from Seasons. I then also got myself a new Colouring Heaven magazine. Now I've had one of these Colouring Heaven magazines before, and that was a Halloween special, which I got a couple of years ago when I was travelling around Ireland. And I saw this in my local supermarket, and I love autumn, and I decided to snap it up, and we'll do a quick flick through. So it's got pages from different artists. So we've got, first of all, we have Deborah Muller. Now, I've never coloured a Deborah Muller page before, but I have seen her work on Erica from Elm Colours channel, and I really kind of like her stuff. I wouldn't necessarily go out and buy a book of Deborah Muller's, because I think I would probably, I'd like to do a couple of pages, but I wouldn't love all of them. But I have to say, the ones in here I'm really enjoying. So we've got a couple of animal ones. Now, she's more known for her portraits, but so we've got this fox one, which is called Shadow Fox. We've got Silent Sage, the owl. We've got this little hare, moonlight hare. Harvest Treasure, By the Light of the Crescent Moon. And then I think there's one more, with the bird, Twilight Forage. And a cat, Pumpkin Guardian. Is there any more? I think that's it. Yeah, that's it for the animals. And then we go into portraits. So we've got Autumn Comforts, and then is it the next page I've done? Yeah, so I did this page. I decided that I just wanted to have a little play around with it and see what I could do. So I took some colour inspiration from my Sarah Renee Clark colour cubes. I've used 140 and 138, and I've just kind of used it like that. So I've just used the browns from the 138. Hopefully that's not too glary for you. And use these colours to create this, and I did base it all with my alcohol markers, and then just used a bit of pencil over the top, but I had a lot of fun with that, and I really liked the way it turned out. We've got this one, Sunflower Maiden, and then we've got some Agota Pop illustrations. Now I do love her illustrations. So we've got Autumn Tinies 1, Autumn Tinies 2, Autumn Tinies 3, Autumn Tinies 4, and Autumn Tinies 5. Then we go into Fox Tinies. So Fox, and I think these are just so cute. Fox Tinies 1, Fox Tinies 2, which are very Halloween-y. So I think I'd quite like to get a couple of these done if I could squeeze them in. I'm not sure. Fox Tinies 3, Fox Tinies 4. And then we've got this beautiful one by Christine Karen, which I think is just gorgeous. This one is just called Autumn. I really like that one. There's only one Christine Karen in this book, and this is it. Then we go into Alexandra Dannenman. Another illustrator that I've never come across before, so this was kind of fun, and they're very cute. And the little hedgehog, this one's called Under the Apple Tree, Whispers with the Scarecrow, Autumn in the Kitchen, Pickle Cottage, I think that's really cute, The Night Watchman, Toadstool Terrace, Waiting for Walkies, adorable, Higgledy Hollow, again, I love that one. I love houses like this. Magical Mushroom Manor, Possum Pile, Blustery Burrow, Harvest Delights, again, kind of more of a small victories type page, Homely Treats, Gifts from the Garden, another little hedgehog, A Treat to Share. I think this one may be one of my favourites from Alexandra Dannenman with the little scarecrow. This one's called Autumn Audience. I love scarecrows, I love pumpkins, I love sunflowers. This one's got everything. Some more Halloweens. This one, Little Halloween Scenes. And then Pumpkin Candy Corner. And I do really love this one as well. I think that's really, really sweet. We've got Halloween House. And then we go into a couple by Desi Georgieff. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, but another artist that I've never come across before. This one's called Alfina, and this one is called Alvina. So some really pretty pages. I really like these. Grayscale, which I like. Then we've got a few Karolina Kubikowska. Now, I have seen her work before. I've never had any of her work to colour before. I've got to admit, I find it a little bit too dark and creepy for my taste, but there's a couple in this that I think I could cope with. So this one I'm not a huge fan of. It's called I See You. This one I think is rather sweet. It's called Guardian of the Forest. I do quite like that one. This one I don't mind either. This one's called The Ritual. And we've got this one which kind of freaks me out a bit with the 3 eyes again. This one's called Foresight. This one I do really like. It's called Eternal Bond. And this one I do rather like as well. It's called Meditation. So there's a couple that I'm not like loving, but yeah, I've never coloured anything by her before. It's definitely quite a different style, very sketchy, but yeah, could be quite fun. So loads in this book that I really like. Particularly, I think probably my favourite from the entire book is that Christine Karen. I think that one's just so beautiful, and I could see it done in lots of lovely oranges and golds and reds and browns. Yeah, really autumnal fun colours. So but yeah, I did get that one done, so I'm quite happy with that. It's not perfect. It was done fairly quickly, but I did enjoy doing it. I had a lot of fun. So those are a couple of things that I have worked on. There's a couple of other things that I would like to work on. One of them is I did manage to get my hands on this Colouring Heaven Pocket Edition, Fantasy Animals. And these are all by Hannah Carlson. And if you know me, you know how much I love Hannah Carlzon. So I was quite keen to get my hands on this, and I found it on Vinted, and it was quite a good price. And so I decided to snap it up. Zoom you in slightly there. And it is just full of, we'll have a quick flick through, because there's a couple of pages. I'm wanting to do a page in here, which I would, yeah, there's a couple of pages that I've been eyeing up. It is kind of more like Hannah Carlzon's children's colouring books. It's more that simplified kind of images. There's a couple of kind of more small victories type things. They're all animals. They're all very, very cute. Do really like this little cat. But they're nice. It's a pocket size, so it's smaller. I'll show you in comparison to the normal regular. You can't see because I've zoomed you in too much. In comparison to the normal regular size of Colouring Heaven, you can kind of get an idea of the size difference. So it's much smaller. So I think they'd be kind of quicker, easier pages to deal with. And I think it's just Hannah Carlzon artwork, so it's really lovely. I think this chick here is so cute. So there's a couple of kind of ones that I think are quite nice autumnal ones. So like this fox with the berry crown. I do quite like that one. And there's another one that I was eyeing up. And I might, this one with the bunny with the kind of acorn hat. So I'm torn about doing one of those. We've also got this owl, which I do rather like as well. It's a very majestic owl with his crown on. We've got lots of different birds on that one. Some more kind of like party ones. This one seems more spring-like to me. We have got the squirrel with some walnuts and then like a little sweet in between. There's a couple of underwatery ones. Camping scene. This is just adorable. This little bunny in his car is so cute. Another one picking berries. I think that's just gorgeous. Little mouse riding the cat. So they're really, really cute images. Like I say, more in line with her kind of children's colouring book style. Much more simplistic. Yeah, kind of thicker lines, that sort of thing. But I do really like it. It's just Hannah Carlzon's signature style, and that's it. So there are 32 images in this one. But I'm quite keen to start one of those ones. So either this one, the owl is quite appealing as well, or this one. So I might start one of those on camera with you today. But the other thing that I've also been working on is my Mythamorphia page. Now I finally pulled this out. This is Kobe Roseanne's Mythamorphia. I don't need to zoom you out slightly again. So I have been eyeing up this page for a while, and I finally decided to just dive in and make a start. So it's this gnomes double page spread, and I've got to admit, it's quite an intimidating page to look at. So I was sitting down last night trying to debate how I was going to approach this page, because I felt like I really wanted to do it, just wanted to get it done. So I considered doing some basing with some water-based markers. I decided against it because I never have a great deal of luck with water-based markers. For some reason, I don't know, it just always leaves things looking streaky. I can never quite blend it out properly with the pencils. So that was kind of like, nah, I'm not going to do that. I thought about basing it with some watercolor pencils, maybe Inktense or Albrecht Dürers. Decided against that as well. So what I ended up doing was choosing a color palette. Now I've got the color palette on my phone. I'll try and remember to put that image up here for you. So I chose a color palette. It's got this kind of magenta-y purpley color. It's got a red, it's got a couple of different oranges and a brown. And I then decided I'd add in some green as well. And so I chose my pencils. I'm using my polychromos. I don't know why I chose to do polychromos. I just decided I hadn't used them for a while and I should pull them out and do something with my polychromos. So I came up with a color palette. I pulled out some pencils to work on that color palette. And then instead of basing with any other medium, what I have done is gone in with the lightest shade of each of those colors. So for example, my greens, I've got 5 green pencils for my green color combination. And what I did is I didn't actually use the ivory. I went in with this May green, which is the second to lightest. If you exclude the ivory, it's the lightest green shade. And I just went in and I laid in a very, very light base layer of that pencil on everything that I wanted green. And I did the same for all of my different colors, because what I want to do is get everything laid out so that I can figure out where my colors are going to go. Well, actually, I've done it this way for several reasons. Number one, the page was hugely intimidating to me, and I thought if I just get a little bit of color down, it won't seem so scary. So I've got that kind of base layer of color. I can see where my colors are going to go. And I just feel more confident about starting it. Number two is that I was able to kind of lay out where my colors are going to go, so I know how my page is roughly going to look. And because I did it so lightly, I was able to erase anything that I didn't like and change the color up. So for example, on this kind of frond, initially I had colored it in orange, and I was like, that's not going to work, don't like it, rubbed it out and colored over it with the green instead. Now it hasn't completely rubbed out, but once I go over with my shading and everything, you'll never know that that orange was there. So that's another reason that I've done it this way. I figured it was a good way to kind of plan out my colors, figure out where everything is going to go. And yeah, it's just really helped me to make a start. And it didn't take long to kind of lay in this kind of base color. And like I said, I've gone very, very light. I don't even know if you can see all of it. I'll hold it up so you can get a better look at it. And I apologize because it's very dark today. The lighting's not brilliant, but hopefully you can get an idea and see what I've done there. So just a really rough kind of light base layer, figuring out where my colors are going to go, so that now I can go back and start adding my shading in and color things in and get it looking more vibrant. Like, so you can see I've started with the greens over here, and I tend to like to work, so like I'll do one color and then go back and do the next color. That's the way I work. I know some people kind of do little sections of the page and flip between colors. I'm not like that. I definitely tend to go to working with one color first and kind of getting that color laid in, and then going back and doing the rest. So having this kind of light base layer was a really good thing for me, because it helped me see, okay, I need to mix this up. I need to change where that color's going and where that color's going. And it just helped me get a feel for how the page is going to eventually look and how the colors are going to work together. So I'm hoping it's going to come out nicely. It's a very small start. It's a big, big page. I have not decided on my background yet, but I'm going to color everything first, then do my background. I do have some grays pulled for my gnome's beards, and I haven't quite decided on skin color yet. Again, I think that's kind of going to be one of the last things I worry about. And also my toadstool stalks, I haven't quite figured out which color combination I'm going to use for those. I'm going to try and use the colors that I've already got pulled. So like I say, I've got a green, I've got a red, I've got a bright orange, and a kind of more muted orangey brownish color, or ochre color, I guess. I've got a kind of red, violet, purpley color. And I think that's it so far. Yeah, that's it. Brown. Sorry, brown. I forgot the brown. So those are the colors that I've got. So I'm going to try and use what I have. I've got all my pencils pulled here, ready to use. This is what I put them in while I'm working with them. So I've got all of my colors in here. and I just pull out the color combos that I need as I'm going along, and just, yeah, work my way through. So I do want to try and get a little bit more done on this, so I might just sit and do a little bit of colouring on that now, and then maybe start one of these ones from Fantasy Animals in a bit as well. I don't know, we'll see how we go. Yeah, I'm gonna pause here for a sec while I grab a drink and reset myself, and then yeah, we'll do a little bit of colouring. Okay, I'm back, and I forgot there's one other page that I'd quite like to try and get to at some point, whether it's today or not, but I thought we'd talk about it quickly. It's in Lulu's House of Wonder by Lulu Mayo, and this is a project book they've been doing with Zoe from Zoe's Cozy Colouring. We've done 2 pages, and then in September we both didn't manage to get our page done, but this was the page that Zoe picked for September, so I would really like to try and get this done. I don't think it would take too long. It's quite a small little image, not a huge amount of elements, but I would quite like to try and pick out a colour palette, at least get a colour palette sorted for this one. I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to do with this. Yeah, I don't know. She's got acorns on her dress. There's lots of leaves, so we could go for quite an autumnal palette. But I'm thinking of maybe something a little bit softer. But that's what I'm going to think about while I'm doing a little bit of work on this one. So I'm just going to kind of carry on with my shading, my greens. It might be a little bit boring because I'm just colouring in grass. But yeah, I think it's such a fun page. I've been wanting to do this page for so long. And yeah, I don't know, I've just always been really intimidated by A, the size of it, B, the busyness of it. There's so much going on. I think there's so many different toadstools and things in here. So I've always been a little bit nervous about doing this page. And it's Kobe Roseanne. So I'm going to zoom you in a little bit. Hopefully you can see there. I'm going to work a little bit on this area here, so hopefully you should be able to see that. Yeah, so I've got, like I say, I'm using my polychromos for this page. I've got to say, I'm actually really loving how they're working on here. So I'm starting with pine green, and I'm just trying to add in a little bit of shadow. I'm hoping this is not too glary for you. It's hard having my desk lamp on, but it's a rubbish time of day to film. I do get a lot of natural sun in the afternoons in this room, but it's not been sunny. it's really rainy and miserable. So I haven't got much in the way of natural light here at the moment. So yeah, not something I'm used to coming from such a hot sunny country. Yeah, so I have kind of been struggling. I don't know. Please leave in the comments below if you have like a lighting system that works for recording. I've tried a few different things, but everything seems to get a bit glary and leaves lots of shadows, and I don't seem to be able to do very well with that. So if you film and you've got some tips and tricks of what to use, please let me know. Right, so pine green, I have to start again. Pine green is my darkest colour, and I'm just kind of laying that in to various, well, just basically along the base of my grass area so that it creates that nice shadow. My second colour is Permanent Green Olive. And I actually think this is a colour palette that I got from My Colourful Country Life, from Karen, who has, it's an amazing resource. If you haven't seen it before, please do go and check it out. She has colour combinations for Prismacolors, Polychromos, Black Widows. I think she's just finished or is finishing one for chroma flows, and it's such a fantastic resource. And you can watch her videos, and she goes through each color. So she does reds, and she does a whole series of red combinations. It's just such a good resource, and she's brilliant. I love Karen. She's such an inspiration, and please do go and check that out, because I do get a lot of my color combinations from her, with help from her. Okay, so what did I say? Pine green, permanent green olive. Then I've got earth green yellowish, you can see it there, May green and ivory. So those are the colors, the 5 greens that I've gone for. It's quite a lot of colors when you're doing, you know, little quite small blades of grass, but I love the contrast. So yeah, I don't use a huge amount of the lightest colors really, but I just want that right at the tips, just to give them a little bit of make them stand out from the rest of the page, or from it's like, particularly because you've got kind of layers of grass, I want them to look like layers of grass, so that having the deeper colors at the base really helps with the perspective. I sound like I know what I'm talking about. It's not always the case. I just added a little bit. And this is going to be a very slow page. This page is not going to be done quickly, and I don't want to rush it. I do really want to take my time with it, so I'm not looking to kind of, you know, rush in and get it done quickly. The page that I showed you in the Colouring Heaven Autumn, that one, I was really happy just to kind of get it done and just colour it and finish it relatively quickly. Some pages are good for that. Other pages like this one, I really just want to take my time and try and do my best. Not that I don't try and do my best work on every page, but you know what I mean. Some pages are just a little bit more, they just lend themselves more to kind of taking your time. I don't know, does that make sense? Do other people feel like that? Is it just me? Hopefully you know what I mean. I just kind of like, with this one, I'm not looking to rush it. It's been, like I say, a page that's been on my radar for a long time. I've looked at it off and on. And now that I'm finally tackling it, I don't want to rush it. I want to enjoy it and do a good job on it, and try and do something that I'm proud of. So I'm hoping that makes sense. But it's such a cute page. And I feel now, like I say, that I've got just that very light kind of base layer of colour down, that it's definitely not so intimidating. When I first looked at it before it was coloured, I was like, I don't even know where I'm going to put my colours. I don't know how it's going to look. I don't know what, you know. And sometimes it's kind of overwhelming. It's hard to see what's what, and it can kind of feel like, oh my goodness, there's just so much going on, and I don't know if I can do it justice. But yeah, once you get a little bit of colour down, it does help a lot. And I think this is kind of the first time I've done this method of using my polychromos to lay a little bit of colour in. But I think I'll probably do it again in the future, not just with polychromos, but with other pencils, particularly on these kind of really big, intricate kind of pages. I think it really helps to see where everything's going to go. Oh, I've coloured the stem of my toadstool there. The thing that's quite tricky, because it's sometimes hard to see what's what. Right, so we'll rub that out. And that's the other good thing about the polychromos on this paper, that does seem to rub out relatively easily without too much effort, which is good. Make sure I don't colour it in again. It's not completely gone, but it's enough that it will it won't be so obvious when I colour over it again. I've done that a couple of times, coloured in the stalks of the toadstools, because they're sat right next to the grass stems and they kind of look like the grass stems, and oh, that's a toadstool. I think I'm gonna, just colour that in as well. So yeah, it's gonna be slow progress. It's not gonna be done quickly. It might not get done this month. We'll see how busy things get. It might end up being something that, see, like this, I wasn't sure if this was meant to be the grass or whether it was meant to be the rock. I've done it like grass, so it's going to stay like grass. I don't think it really matters. But there are some bits that it was kind of like, I don't know, I'm not 100% sure. So just kind of laying in that base of colour really helped to kind of map out what I was going to do where. And definitely made the page far more approachable for me anyway. And I know people do this all the time with other mediums, but I just thought this was kind of a cool way of doing it with the very light base layer of pencil. Such a cool page. There's so many pages in this book. Every time I open it up, I'm like, oh, I need to do that. I need to do that. I was very tempted to do the green man, which I think is the next page. Yeah, this guy. But Karen from My Colourful Country Life has just done him, and she did such a good job. It looks so good. And I kind of look at it and think, I could either do her colour along and just kind of do it the same way, or I can just hold off for a little bit and then maybe do it another time. You know, like when you've seen somebody else's page and it's really hard to get that image out of your head to try and come up with something unique, and B, also just feel like, oh, well, I couldn't do it as well as her, so, you know, which is silly, but yeah, hopefully you know what I mean by that. She did such a fantastic job. It turned out beautifully. Okay, where am I gonna, I'll go down here. But yeah, that's another page that I'd really like to. I also really like to do the jackalope, which is next to the green man. In fact, there's not many pages in this book that don't kind of scream out to me to be done. So I would like to get more done in this. But yeah, it's that age-old problem, isn't it? So many books and not enough time to get them all done. And I don't know why, like this one, I don't know why, but I feel like it's definitely kind of like an autumny page. I don't know why, because it could really be coloured any time of the year, but for me, I don't know why, but toadstools they're just like, they're autumn. I don't know why. I think because of the colours that they tend to be, which is, oranges and browns and reds, and so for me they are kind of like autumn things, although they're not really. But yeah, that's why I kind of decided to do this page now, and yeah, I just thought it would be a fun page to do, although somewhat intimidating. I don't know if you can hear, but I have this permanent cold at the moment. In fact, it did seem to disappear, and well, not completely disappear, just kind of like had the very tail end of it, but now it's kind of like reared up again. I don't feel bad. I don't have any temperature or anything like that. I just have a blocked nose constantly. So yeah, I don't know whether it's an allergy or yeah, I don't know what it is. So I may end up having to go to the doctors about it, because it's not terrible. I'm not, like I said, I'm not feeling bad. It's not like I can't get on with my daily life or anything like that, but it's just annoying. Like, it's really annoying now because it's just gone on for so long and I just cannot seem to get rid of it completely. And it's always around about this time of day that I start to feel worse. And yeah, it kind of isn't so much fun. Not too bad during the day, but kind of in the evening, late afternoon, it starts to kind of get a little bit blocked up, and yeah. So I don't know, maybe I'm allergic to the UK. It would be a bit tragic, wouldn't it? But yeah, I don't know whether it's a cold. Like, I haven't got any other like cold symptoms with it. I don't have a cough, I don't have a headache, I don't have a sore throat, I don't have any kind of fever. I've done it again. That's a toadstool stem. I just have this constant blocked nose. So yeah, I'm thinking I may have to go and see somebody about it and just find out if it's an allergy or whether it's something else. I don't know. I really don't know. But yeah, it's just getting a bit annoying, a bit frustrating at the moment. Okay, I'm going to come down here. Do this bit. I love this guy on his squirrel. I've got to admit, some of these gnomes look rather grumpy though. Like, this guy in particular does not look very happy at all. I mean, this guy, it looks, I don't know if you can see him. I'm going to cut off. Sorry, I didn't show you. This guy looks really unhappy, and this guy just, I don't know, just doesn't look. He looks a bit evil. So some of these gnomes don't look particularly friendly. Don't know. I always thought gnomes were kind of like quite happy little characters, but these guys don't look particularly welcoming. Okay, so I've decided these things kind of look like ferny type fronds, so I decided to do them green as well. Like I said, I initially was going to do them orange, and I kind of coloured them with a really light base. Well, I coloured this one with a really light base layer of orange and took one look at it and thought, no, that's not going to work. So I decided to go with green instead. And I think that's probably the better choice. I do like my polychromos pencils. I have not used them much at all lately, so it's kind of it's nice to have them pulled out again and be doing a page with them, because I really haven't used them enough. I've been a little bit scared to use some of like my more expensive pencils too much, because Prismacolors are fine because I've been able to get like replacements for those relatively easy. But while I was living in the UK, polychromos were really expensive and I couldn't buy them singly. Well, I could, but to buy them singly, individually, would cost an absolute fortune. So I kind of just didn't use them very much. But now I have a little shop not very far from me which sells polychromos individually, so I can restock as and when I need to. So I may end up using them a little bit more. And I do really like them on Kirby's book here. I think I really like how they're working for me on this paper. So yeah, so that's good to know. So like I say, they maybe might end up being pulled out a little bit more often to be used. Now that I know that I can replace them if I wear them down too much. Silly, isn't it? Because, you know, we should just use what we got. But yeah, they are kind of expensive, and I've been a bit apprehensive about using them too much, but I feel like I can easily replace them now, so not so bad. Okay. I've done a great job with that, I feel. If that's made it any better or not, but anyway, I'm gonna leave that for now. I'll do a little bit more, and then we might try and look at doing something else. I think I might try and work on a color palette for that Lulu page. See if we can come up with something. Maybe in one of my color cubes I can find something that will work. I'm kind of, you know, like sometimes you look at a page and you've got a really definite idea of what you want to do, or at least have an idea of some colors that you want to use. With that page, I haven't, and I keep changing my mind. So it's been kind of hard to make a start on that page because I haven't kind of got a plan of how I want it to look or what colors I want to use. So I've kind of struggled a little bit with that. I think if I can come up with a colour palette, I can, it'll be a lot easier to make a start on that page. See what's grass and what's toadstool. I've got to admit this lighting is not great for me because I'm finding it quite glary, but hopefully it's not too bad for you. Depends which angle you're looking at the page from. Okay, right. I like the way that's looking. I might deepen this up a little bit down here. I got lost a little bit down here. Just go with that darkest one and just kind of deepen up some of those shadows a little bit. I'm going to leave that there. Like I say, it's a bit boring just watching me colour grass. I've got a little bit more done. It's starting to fill up a little bit, and yeah, I know where I'm going with my colours, so I can work on that again. I'm going to leave my pencils out so I don't lose them. I'm going to pop that one down. Let's go back to this Lulu page because I'm a little bit stuck on a colour palette for this. What am I going to do? I don't even know. Like, I was kind of thinking of like a pale, something pale pinkish for this little character. But I'm just not sure. I just don't know. But I do have a colour cube here. I've got colour cube number 1, which is what I had out for that autumn page. So I've just kind of had it sitting on my desk. Let's have a quick flick through a few cards and see if we can find one that might work for this page. So actually that first one could work. I feel like it's a little bit too bright. Okay, sorry, slight interruption there. Yeah, that's a bit too bright for what I'm looking for. Ooh, I'm gonna lose them all. I'm gonna put them over the side, that'll be easier. Okay, hopefully you can see those. No. I have a feeling I'm not going to settle on anything. It's quite an interesting one, isn't it? It's kind of a really muted, old-fashioned colour palette. I do quite like that actually. That could work. So what I'm thinking of with this one is I would do the little bunny thing in this kind of pale pink. I would do her dress in this kind of darker reddy pink. Do the acorns in the kind of brown colours, maybe add a darker brown as well. Do the leaves in this kind of dark green. And I've got this kind of pale yellowy colour, which could work for the little flowers. Could be an interesting possibility. I might keep that one out. Don't know why, I'm kind of more drawn towards a softer colour palette. That's kind of like it's almost like a brighter version of that, isn't it? You've got a brighter pink there and there, and then a brighter green. I think I prefer that one still. I'm going to keep going. Sometimes I like to do this and just kind of like flick through my colour palette cards, come up with some options and see which I like best. And sometimes like on this page, I really don't know what I want. So sometimes just kind of looking at some colour palettes gives me some ideas, like that card just gave me some ideas. So you don't have to have these colour cubes either. You could have just use like Pinterest. There's loads of colour palettes on Pinterest. There's another one that's quite soft. I'm kind of like, I don't know, I'm kind of thinking pinks for this page. I don't know why. I think there's like too many pinks and not enough of anything else on that one. So I see that Sarah Renee Clark is coming out with a new set of colour cubes. And I'm kind of annoyed. Like, I get that you want to update and stuff like that, but I don't understand why she had to introduce... So what she said she's done is she's introduced 4 new colour cubes. And the first... And in those colour cubes, there are lots of these from the older colour cubes, but she said she's updated them. I don't know what that means. So updated these kind of colour palettes and then introduced a load more. What I would have really liked is if she just brought in like new ones and just said, here's a bunch of new colour palettes. Now, and I think I think the way not talking very well here, am I? I think the way she's done it is she's done 4 new cubes, and the first 2 are mostly made up of older colour palettes which she's updated, and the second 2 are mostly new colour palettes with a few of the old ones in. But do you know what I mean? Why I just... It would, for me, and I realise it's about, you know, it's a business and it's about making money and that sort of thing, but I would have really liked to have seen just like 2 new boxes of colour palettes rather than kind of do it the way she's done it. I don't know. Anyway, my little window. I'm kind of like, I don't know if I need another couple of boxes of colour palettes, especially because they're really expensive. I do really like using them, so you know, I don't know, but yeah, kind of like this. Yeah, I don't know, do I like that one or not? I'm gonna keep going. So yeah, that kind of annoyed me a little bit. I'd much rather see, like I say, a whole brand new kind of set, rather, you know, like, rather than trying to update and I don't know, mixing new ones with old ones. I would have preferred just to be able to buy two brand new sets and leave it at that, but maybe that's just me. I don't know. Anyway, back to what I'm looking for here, and I don't know, I'm not seeing stuff that's really screaming out to me at the moment. Don't know. It could be interesting. No, not feeling it. No. I don't know what I'm looking for. I think that's half the battle. Don't have much in mind other than maybe some pink. So I'm kind of stopping at everyone that I see has a bit of pink in it. I want to go for like a lighter pink rather than a really bright in-your-face pink. I'm not feeling that one either. Too many blues on that one, I think. It's a little bit too bright. In fact, I think that's very similar. Oh no, it's not. I'm lying. Yeah. All right. Let's keep going and see if we can find anything else. I've got one picked out, which might work. Oh, okay, that could be quite interesting as well, couldn't it? We've got these kind of turquoisey greens, which could work for the foliage. And these kind of like peachy browns, which could work for the flowers and the dress. Don't know. I'm gonna keep going. I'm very indecisive today, so you know, we may not get very far with this. It's quite interesting, isn't it? Yeah, so I don't know if you've got the colour cubes. What do you think about the new ones? Will you be buying them? Let me know in the comments. Do you feel like I do? Do you feel differently to I do? I'd like to know either way. This has also caught my eye. So we've got, I think that's just a really dark brown. Yeah, it kind of looks almost black, but it is just a really dark brown. I do kind of like that one. So for this one, again, I'd use that really light pink on this little kind of bunny character with wings and horns. I'd probably use this really dark pink on her dress. I could do blue for the background, use some of these pinks for the flowers, the dark brown for the acorns and things, but I don't have any green, but I could maybe pull in a green if I did something like that and just have the green in for the leaves and things. That could work. I'm going to keep that one aside. don't need that one quite so much. That's quite an interesting colour palette, and it could be quite autumnal, couldn't it? It's got that light pink that I'm looking for this creature, jackalope type thing, isn't it? I could do, I don't know, I feel like there's too much, I feel like there's too much going on with that. I'm not loving that one for it. I've got 2 picked out. That's fairly good stuff. I really like this colour palette. I really like the colours in this, but I don't think I could make it work for that page. I don't know. I feel like I'm more drawn to the muted colours at the moment. Maybe because it is autumn. Let's see what else I can find. Might as well go through this whole deck and then see where we're at by the end of it. Some of these I've used on other pages before. I definitely haven't used all of them. So yeah, I would really like to know what you think about the colour cubes. Maybe you've never had colour cubes and you're thinking of buying the new sets. Maybe you don't really see the point of spending that much money on them. They are really expensive. They are. I do really like, I know you can find loads of colour palettes online, but I do really like the idea of having something physically in my hand. And I do use these quite a lot. They have been a really good investment for me. It's a cute colour palette as well, isn't it? I like that one, but I don't think it's quite right for my page. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know whether I'll be buying the new sets, because there is an option just to buy the new 3 and 4 set, which is the ones that has most of the new colour palettes in. So there is that option. So I think if I was going to do anything, that would be the option that I chose. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Don't know if I can justify spending that kind of money. But I have all of these already. And like I say, I've definitely used quite a few of these, but there's so many. I mean, I have not used all of them. 250 in each box. I have 2 boxes, which is 500 colour cubes. Yeah. Doubt I would get to use all of them for a very long time. So maybe I should just make do with what I have. That could be quite pretty, couldn't it? Just go really kind of, I was going to say monochromatic. It's not monochromatic, but that could be kind of fun to do. I might keep that one out as well. So again, I'd probably use that pale pink for the bunny type creature. I'd probably use this darker one on her dress. I don't know how I'd do the acorns. I guess I'd have to do them kind of one of these blues. I'll do this for some of the flowers and then use the blues for the leaves. Could be interesting. I don't know. I'll keep it out. I'll keep it out and see. What else have we got on? I don't know, I'm just drawn to all these pinks at the moment. I'm not sure why. I do like pink. I'm definitely a pink kind of girl. I can't really explain what it is I'm looking for when I'm flicking through these. I just kind of like flick through them. Like I say, I've got this idea of having this really kind of pale baby pink. So I'm kind of looking for colour palettes that have a baby kind of pink in them. And when I come across one like this one, I look at it and think, can I use the other colours on my page? Could I make it work? I mean, again, I could probably do something like this, but I don't know, I'm not feeling that one. This one, again, we could go for that kind of monochromatic type thing. But I'm not really feeling these really bright pinks. I don't know. Looking for something a little bit more muted, I think. Don't want to go quite so blue. Okay, that's the end of that box. I've got 3 picked out. This one is quite appealing. I do kind of like the idea, but I feel like I'm veering more towards these kind of shades. I am thinking kind of that. I'm kind of thinking that. So I would use this pale pink for the bunny. I would use this kind of darker pink, reddish pink for her dress. I would use the brown for the acorns. I would use the green for all of the leaves and this brighter pink for the flowers. Then I would obviously have to do her hair and skin, but they're quite neutral colours. I'd do the bright blue as a background. So that's the kind of way I'm thinking. It's not very autumnal, get my words out, but it's kind of what's appealing at the moment. The other option was that. I feel that's a bit too dull. I think this is better. I could even add that one in, couldn't I? Maybe just the green. I'm thinking something like that. Yeah, that's it. So I'm going to leave it there because I need to go and do some other things. I'd love to just sit here all evening and do some colouring and chat and that sort of thing. But yeah, too much to do. I'm going to leave those in there because I think I'm going to use those. I may end up, when I actually sit down to colour this page, I may end up changing my mind. But that's the kind of direction I'm thinking of going in, those colours for this page. So we'll see. We'll see how it turns out. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you all have had a lovely weekend. Enjoy the rest of your week. Hope you get some colouring time, and I hope to see you all again soon. Thank you so much for joining me. Take care, everybody. Bye.